crossing or straightforward? I know. You do have to wait.
Andy is my son. David is my brother's son. Michael's son. Andy's coming. En route.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, lovely.
We need to do a Stuart picture as you walk in the door, so don't disappear too quickly. Yeah, no, it's fine, but you need to be tagged. Uncle James.
Hello. See you again. It's a very unusual event. It's possibly a one-off event, so we may as well make the most of
I mean, one was really using my muscle completely.
Have you been in your flat? We have chicken makhani here, which is chicken with yogurt and cream.
Yes.
And then here we have lamb biryani, cinnamon spring lamb biryani. Then we have chana masala here, which are chickpeas in a rich tomato gravy. And we have aubergine medley here, which is aubergine and sweet potato. And then we have lamb biryani, which is spring with cinnamon lamb. Chana masala, which is chickpeas and tomato gravy. And here we have an aubergine medley. Oh, my favourite vegetable. Oh, is it really? Oh, good. I hope you like it. There's a hybrid here. Would you like a piece of that looks beautifully, thank you. Good, great.
I am James Robson's brother. This is Sue James's sister.
I got the right way. I thought
Well, we're not really, actually, because we don't do brothers as well.
John is married to my
Actually, yeah, I'll share that with you.
sure this is tongue.
No, I just want to
Vermicelli, which is dry roasted in ghee and then wrapped over in roasted almonds and pistachios. And then at the last process, just before you're about to consume it, then we add some pomegranate to it, and that can be served with Greek yogurt or fresh cream.
Thank you.
And you must try some. You've got a whole tree.
This is a professional doing it now.
I just come back after 35 years.
Oh, I see. Do you want Mum to come up and
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rosemary. Happy birthday to you.
Getting you all together, it's been a very happy day. Thank you for coming. Some long distances, and for the pleasure of it. It's been a marvellous birthday present. Thank you.
Okay, Mum, come up and cut the cake.
Do attention to these candles, Mo, or shall I blow them for you?
No, Andrew, you do it, will you?
Would you like to? What?
Did you want to come and cut it? No?
I think you should come and just put your knife in.
Yes,
Come and
all
cut
right.
it.
You have to make a wish, Granny. You've got to make a wish.
Gotta make
A
a
big wish.
Yes.
Another 90 years.
As it says, the first 90 years on them.
I think you should
Blow it out, Grandma.
have a big blow, Mark.
Go on, Granny.
And your boys? Oh, no, my goodness.
Okay, off you go. 1, 2, 3, bingo.
There we are.
Good.
Well done.
Well done. Really see it through. Okay, well we'll.
Very dangerous. Right? Oh, very delicate. Lovely
I
cake.
think we'll have to. We've been keeping it for 90 years.
My mother. I'm 90.
You have to start somewhere, and you know, for us, and today it had to start with Rosemary and the tree coming up through Rosemary. Of course, everybody would have a different tree. Everybody around the table would have a different set of roots to their family tree. So that's how it happens. It's been a long journey for Rosemary, and you know, please forgive us for all of these odd names around the tables. They may be evocative to some, but not to others. And but they do, in a sense, trace Rosemary's life. Banstead these days is known as a sort of rather doubtful suburb of South London, but for many, many years of my life, Banstead was a place which signified home and sweetness and all the things that went with Englishness, you know, which were of course the other end of the of the pull from being in India, and obviously other people with other experiences of being in Africa. Home was always home, and at Mama's generation, people recognised that. It took 6 weeks to get back. You know, I can get on a plane at 10:30 and be there at 10:30 the next day, but it took 6 weeks to get to and fro. And so the polarity between home and out there was absolutely enormous. And Banstead was always home. You know, from my earliest days. I was born in a place in Banstead, Littlecroft, the Mint Farm, and places like that. And so that's what, although Banstead is not here today, the next stage of Rosemary's life was Chateau d'Ay and Territé. Her grandfather, Coatsworth, was padre in Territé, and I think you used to go out there, Ma, for holidays from Ravenscroft or something like that, or maybe a younger stage. And then Chateau d'Ay, which is also yes, Chateau d'Ay also on the lakes, on the shores of Lake of Geneva, where we've been since then, not far from Lausanne, was a kind of halfway step, not really a halfway step, to India. And then India suddenly began, you know, and Rosemary went out when she was pretty young. She was born in India in Mao. She was born in India, she got married in India, her children were born in India, and so all of those key points in her life were really India. And then the other places that you've seen around, Ajmer was where there's a film, so if you have a chance to see the film on the TV there, it's a wonderfully evocative 1936 film of what an Ajmer marriage was like in that day. And then progressing from there to Gilgit, and that was the last time Mama was sort of under her own steam. And then of course life began with Alec after that. And after a bit, after Banstead came Gilgit, and there we were one October 1939, 6 months after I was born, going up over the mountains, you know, just before the snows came in, and managing to get to Gilgit, a place where Neil and his family and I've also revisited over the years. And from Gilgit down to Lahore, where Neil was born, and from Lahore to Calcutta, and the run-up to independence in India. And you know, even I remember at the age of 7 the riots, the Congress riots in Calcutta, where people were stoned and killed in the street, the Muslims and Hindus really battling it out on the eve of independence and partition. And but we lived in the house and we were blithely, and I don't think Mama really ever felt engaged in that process, but obviously it was a very traumatic one. And then after that, finishing with Indian independence and going to Kabul, because there was a stage when issues between Pakistan and India were being sorted out in Kabul, in the legation in Kabul. They were the kind of place where all of the records went, and all of the issues about who has what, who does what, and that sort of thing were all sorted out in Kabul. And Kabul at that time, the British legation was a delightful place. You used to go out of Kabul to have, you know, with the slightly, no doubt, upper class Afghan gentry, you know, to their villas where they grew their roses and played bridge, in a delightful moment in Afghanistan's history. I mean, Afghanistan has had bad times in the past, but this was a time when it was a wonderful, wonderfully peaceful period, really, before the monarchy went. And so that's the only place I didn't go to. In fact, Neil spent some time there with Mama and Papa. And so that long journey is all embodied in this lady we have. So I think since we've all got a glass, I'd like to raise a toast to this serene and wonderful.
God bless you.
Can I just do that?
Sorry.
All right, Mark.
So I pass the floor to my brother.
You know, we went just the other weekend to find an old shepherd's cottage up in the Lammermill Hills, where great at least more than that, grandfather worked, and I knocked on the door and said, you know, we used to live here 250 years ago. And all those things have been a great process. And I really wanted to thank particularly Layla, who's done all the work on the family tree, because that has been a huge work. She has had a bit of electronic assistance, and but it did require a lot of work. So Layla particularly, I mean, thank you so much for that. I would like
to intervene and say actually that Uncle Neil did most of the research for that. I simply did the administrative work. So well done for 6 years of research.
Okay, we'll sort of wrap that up in a minute. And I should just say there are some people, for a variety of reasons, who are not with us today. The recently departed David Mailer. There are some who we miss who were not able to come today, who were either unwell. I mean, the Low Masses side to the Peak Ash, David Williamson, and so on. So we hope that we would have got all of these people together, but unfortunately that's not the case. So sad about that. Some of you travelled a long way. Mandy Barnum, come back especially, I know, for this from Kabul, which is really great. Ruth from New York, which is also brilliant too. So thanks to those. And my Aunt Aline, who's returned to England after what I thought was only a few years, but apparently it's about 25 years in Australia. so thanks to her too as well. And a particular thanks to Andrew and Christine for the loan of this and the use of this house too. Well, you can have it back after. It's only a short-term loan, but a wonderful setting. Thank God too for those of you that answered God's prayer for the weather, because I'm very glad we weren't having this yesterday lunchtime. It would have been like sort of a journey up the Indus or something then, I think. So anyway, Andrew and Christine, just to say, from us all, a huge thank you for your hospitality. Yes. And then lastly, and I will leave you to mingle, just a few housekeeping notes. The family tree, it is a dynamic document, and you can annotate it. You can go and scribble on it, correct things, add things, and so on. So do take a little bit of time, if you can possibly, to check it out. I know there are some mistakes on it. I know some people have got married at least twice to the same person, but we will try and correct those things as we go along. So please use it as a document, and we will be, people who want to get access to it. I'm not sure quite how it's going to work. They'll probably have to buy the software. Do you know, Layla, how that'll work?
Yes, either they can buy the software, then I can give them an actual file saved as some duplicate, which they can put on the software and then amend and do whatever they like with in the same way.
Right.
Extend it to their own purpose. Or just simply give them a copy of the tree once there's only a draft, once it's been perfected.
Tidied up a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, do keep in touch, and if people want that, then we'll circulate every few years for a few more updates when we start getting even more.
I want to just ask one question. Rosalind,
Ma?
Agnes, according to the family tree, Agnes had multiple brothers, all of whom were called Donald MacDonald. And they seem to string all the way along.
There was a Donald and a Ronald.
That's it.
Yes. Donald, Ronald, William.
Yes.
I think that's a perfect example of something which could do with a little
annotation. Okay, we'll do that too. And then also the group photograph, we have it on disc now. So if anybody would like a copy of the disc, will they speak to me? Somebody. You've got it at the moment. You got it. So if anybody would like a copy of the disc, then that's fine. We probably will try and make some sort of electronic file version of the day when we processed all these hundreds of other photographs that people have been taking. So we might be able to marry that up with the group photograph as well. So we'll probably, when we finish this process, actually, I think about it, we'll probably write to you all and say we've done this, and would you like some? So anyway, thank you so much for coming. Enjoy yourselves for the rest of the day. Do use these cameras on your desk, on your table, sorry. Spent the last 48 hours in the office doing the seating class.
develop them, aren't we? Or
Yeah, we're going. Yes, I mean leave them here, and then
Just leave
we
them
will
here,
develop
yes.
them.
We'll leave them here.
And then the good ones and the interesting ones we will scan probably onto the same disc.
Grandma's wedding film? Should we
Yeah.
long?
Well, we might in a few moments run Mum's wedding film from 1936,
7 minutes. 7 minutes.
jumping around the place in jerky movements.
Yes.
But it's a terrific
Yes.
film.
It's a lovely
and
film.
It's only
we
a
do take time.
short watch, and it'll be rather fun. You know, we'll play it again straight after now.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Do wander around the garden. Are we having tea, or is the tea being served?
Yes, tea will be here. Yes.
Okay.
He will be there.
There. As the Indians say.
Tea is out. All right. Thank you very much.
Silence.
Silence.
Thank you from me. I'm not going to say anything more than that. I do appreciate you all coming here and for what has turned out to be a quite remarkable day. For I hope for all of you, certainly for me, a send-off, as they might say. But I'm not going to be sent off yet.
Good.
For whatever reason.
So thank you again, all of you,
Don't worry.
for coming, and for all of those who have done so much hard work on planning this all and delving into the past. Most interesting results. So God bless you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
She lived with us.
And she must have been because he was there, really, and everyone's mother was trying to introduce their daughter to him, I think.
When he was living with us.
Yeah.
And
In France.
and Rosemary wasn't.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, brilliant.
No, so we were really surprised. She was awfully young.
Yeah.
And none of, I mean, I'm a bit younger than her, and her problem marriage. So I was
Yeah.
in school age.
Yeah, yeah.
And the husband, who was 4 years younger than me, was a little girl. And of course this was But we were brought up so much together because our parents were always in India. When they were in England,
Yeah.
whoever was in England was. I mean, I was with Uncle Cuff and Aunt Beth